Hello, everybody. This is Lance Tomashiro, and I am super glad that you made it here today. We have a great presentation for you, a special time, a special day, a special place, and we're really looking forward to what Robert has put together for you today because one of the things that we see over and over and over again, and we get to work with a lot of you, we get to see a lot of how people are progressing, is that so many people are taking a simple process and really convoluting it. And, in a lot of ways, I can see why. There's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of marketing messages happening out there. There's a lot of tricks going on that people are trying to implement into their businesses. And at the end of the day, what I really see happening is a lot of people getting stuck or feeling like they can't move forward, or quite frankly, just not making the progress that they deserve because they've become overwhelmed and they're really confused with what they're trying to build in the first place. And so what we want to do is show you exactly how you can overcome overwhelm, build a truly passive online income literally in just 3 days or less, and have a machine that will just work for you over and over and over again. And the cool thing is once you take what Robert's going to show you today and apply it, well, then it's really fun because then you can implement the tricks. But the problem with the tricks are they're here today, gone tomorrow. By the time you get them set up, there's a new trick that's there and the old one doesn't work. But if you've got this base machine set up, well, you get to take advantage of all of that. So we're glad that you're here. We put this together at a special time so that more of you guys could make it that we don't normally get to talk to. So if you can hear us, if you know where that question box is, and if you're ready for Robert to show you something that's truly going to change your online life and business, I want you to type in the box income machine. INCOME machine, income machine. And we're really excited to show you this. So looks like you guys can all hear it. Looks like you guys all know where the question box is. So without further ado, help me welcome Mr. Robert Plank.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Mr. Lance Tomashiro. I'm really happy to be here. And I was just thinking, as you were, talking me up and saying all those things about how things were when I first got started online. And I know that at least for me and for pretty much everyone we know that the first couple of years online were really, I don't want to say a waste, but just really slow going until we kind of hit one breakthrough, hit another breakthrough, hit another breakthrough. And I know that the first website I made took me weeks, if not longer. I don't know how it was for any of you. The first information product I made took weeks, if not longer. And then to even get even a handful of initial subscribers took weeks, if not longer. To get my first dollar online took years, if not longer. And a big thing that I think we're going to be kind of going back to a lot of in this hour that we're together right now today, and then back to the like the technical stuff, is this thing called mindset. And I think that once I kind of got a handle on, I don't even want to say my moods, but let's just call it that, because over the course of a month I would be really really excited and energized during one week and get a bunch of stuff done, and then even for a couple weeks at a time I would just be like down in the dumps, not really able to really get myself on the computer and to get the things done that I needed to get done. And as soon as I got a handle on why that was, my mindset, and kind of finding ways to motivate myself, because we're all self-employed in a way, right? We're all entrepreneurs, and there are certain times when it doesn't matter who's looking over our shoulder or who's kicking our butt. It comes down to us, and it comes down to, well, I need to have a really, really good reason to do what it is that I need to do, and follow through. And if I'm, for example, trying to set up an opt-in page, I get that done online and finished, and not have all this half-finished stuff lying all over the internet, which that a lot of us have. And you can like find all these quotes and one-liners, but the best one for me is this thing from Henry Ford saying, "Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right." Sounds really cheesy, but if you really think about it, pun intended, then if you're always down in the dumps saying, well, oh, this better work, or I don't know about this, or I'm going to try it instead of actually doing it, well, then chances are it's not going to work. But if you actually have a positive attitude and you say, well, I'm going to make it work somehow, and even if that means that, if I hear about some new traffic technique and I just go into it 100% expecting it to work and doing everything that I can to make it happen, and even if it doesn't work out exactly the right way I want it to do, then that's still somewhat of a learning experience. I can still figure out one way that didn't quite work, or I can take a piece of that and then, get to the next step. So Having said that, I want to ask you a quick question. You can go in the question box and type in either the number 1 to 4, but don't type just yet. I'm going to ask you which of these four people you are. And don't worry, I'm not going to call on you or mention your name or make fun of you. I just want to get a gauge in the audience of who we have on the call right now. So my question is, which one of these four are you? Are you number 1, overwhelmed with all the possibilities, like do I do CPA, CPV, AdSense, do I do article marketing, do I do freelancing? Are you number 2, where you understand all the pieces, so like you know that you need to have like a opt-in page, a sales letter, a membership site, but you don't really know how to do it. You don't really know, like, do I use WordPress, or Optimized Press, or Iron Press, or I don't know, some other kind of press thing, like a book press, whatever it is? Or do you make things hard on yourself because it can't be that simple? If someone tells me I just need to have a website with a payment button, no, I got to have funnels, I got to have exit pop-ups, got to have upsells, downsells. Or are you number 4, where you get it and you have a smooth and complete running system, and you just need it to do more of that? You just need to make more websites or get more traffic or charge higher prices. So I'm just kind of curious, are you 1, 2, 3, or 4? 1 means overwhelmed. 2 means technology holds you back. 3 means you make things complicated. Or 4 means you have something running, but things can always run better. So I'm looking at the numbers, and we're seeing, you even see someone who's trying to get creative and saying 5, which is a mix of 2 and 3. But I would say that about half of you are 3, and about half of you are a mix between 1, 2, and 4. All right, so that's good to know where we're at. Where I mean, you've heard about all the stuff. You probably even have most of the tools, but it can't be that simple. And so, let me just simplify it for you really quick. And it comes down to 3 different things. And this is kind of, I don't know, like, I don't know how much of your imagination you use. I found that the more of my imagination I use to get things done, the more fun I have, and the longer I can do it, instead of just being like, well, I'll get back to this internet stuff. I guess I'll make a website. I guess I'll do this webinar. I guess I'll make this video. It's a lot more fun if you kind of use your imagination for you instead of against you, because we can all use our imagination against ourselves, right? We can say, well, gee, this might not work. Well, gee, this might cost me much money. But if we can, once again, as corny as it sounds, if you can picture the outcome, if you can picture, well, how will my site look once it's done? How will my sales letter look? How will my PayPal or my bank account look once all this money comes in? Well, then now I'm energized to get there. So now I know where I need to go. It's just a matter of getting pointed in the right direction and just making those little incremental steps to get to that point. Maybe course correct along the way, but at least you know where it is you want to go. And so it's a mix of your outcome, your system, and your creativity. And the way I use it in my imagination is I just picture, like, there's like the earth, right? How with the earth in school we learned, like, there's like the earth's core on the outside and the crust, I'm sorry, on the outside, and we have like the core in the middle and like the mantle or whatever the heck that is in between. And so the way I look at it is, well, what you're trying to do is, say you're at like the center of the earth and you're trying to get to the surface of the earth, right? Or into outer space or whatever. So that's our outcome. And, I don't know what your personal outcome is. I don't know if it's like a 1 year outcome or a 6 year or a 10 year, but some of you just want to make right now $1,000 a month online. And once you get to that point, then you can worry about 10,000. Once you get to that point, then you can figure out 100,000. But like, there's somewhere where you want to go. And even for some of you, it's even as simple as, I just want to get a complete website online. I don't want to have 10 websites that only have a couple of pages. I want to have a real business, and I want to have a website that I'm proud to share with everyone, that keeps getting traffic, getting sales, making money every day like a machine without me having to do anything. Okay, so that's your outcome. And in order to get to that outcome, let me switch colors here real quick, is you need to have a system. And by that I mean, and I know the word system sounds really scary, but I mean that if I'm making an opt-in page, well, then I know it's going to be a page with a headline, 3 bullet points, a call to action, and a little box to join. I know that it will have those things. And I might change what the headline will be, I might change what the bullet points will be, but if I went in with that in mind, knowing that I couldn't have 5 bullet points, knowing that I couldn't have it any longer than this, knowing that I couldn't have a testimonial or a video, well, then that kind of makes it a lot easier on me, as weird as that sounds. So by having this system in place, I know the technical steps I'm going to use to get this online. I know I'm going to, put on WordPress. I'm going to use this particular plugin. I'm going to click on these certain buttons, and then it's up to me. It's up to my creativity. And let me get an even cooler pen color. Let's see, dark green. Will that work? Now in the middle here, we have our creativity. And so, I mean, creativity is good as far as thinking of something new, but I think the problem that Lance alluded to in the beginning is that everybody wants to do something new. Everybody wants to do something that no one's ever done before, which is good in a way, but if you make an opt-in page that doesn't look like an opt-in page, no one's going to buy it. That's all there is to it. If you make a sales letter that doesn't look like a sales letter at all, no one's going to buy. But if you make a sales letter that everyone recognizes that's what it is, but you have a really cool, unique message, or you have a slight twist on what's already working, you just do a better job, well, then you have a much easier time. So this is kind of, these three things combined really helps me because I know what I want, first of all. I know how I'm going to get there, and then within that I can, add my own little flair and juice. But I mean, this has very little to do with making money, as a lot of you see. I mean, is there only just one shopping cart out there on the market? Well, no. Is there just one course on product creation on the market? Well, no. Is there just one even, let's just say, like book on PowerPoint on Amazon.com? No, there's probably hundreds because everyone has their own little unique way of doing it, and it's so proven and such a good way of making money that hundreds of books out there couldn't exist, and the market is so huge that everyone still makes money. Okay, but I want you to make money as well, and chasing the latest and greatest stuff is not going to help you. So let me ask you a question. What if I said I can give you a program that you run on your desktop, you click one button, and it creates 1,000 WordPress blogs with content, with social media buttons, and it does all the blog and ping, and it does all these Amazon links? Some people would say, cool, give me that. What if I said, I can give you this software, and you click a button, and now you'll have literally 1 million websites all around the internet linking back to your site. And someone says, I know you were teasing. So what if I told you I had that? Well, you might say, great. But my question to you is, why? What are you sending back to your site? And do you even have a site? And do you know what the payoff will be? And I know people who say, oh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to send them to my website, and I'll have an opt-in page. And I'll just send 1 million hits to my opt-in page, and I'll make $1 million. Well, how? Well, they'll opt in, and then the question is, well, then what? And most people who I talk to don't even know what they're going to send people to. They don't know, what niche they're in. They don't know. They don't even have a proven seller. They just know that I've heard I need backlinks. Cool. I've heard I need 1,000 sites. Well, I want that. Or they say things like, or if I say, all right, I'll give you 1,000 articles about the wedding niche. Well, great. I was thinking about getting into a new niche anyway, but then they just kind of sit on your hard drive, right? Or, I'll give you a program to create the next YouTube or the next Yelp.com or the next Facebook. Or how about this? Did you know there's a site online called Fiverr? And this is a site where you can pretty much hire someone to do anything for $5. It's not my site. It's a really huge site. But what we can do is we can actually go to this site, and I'll just sign in real quick. And I could hire someone for something right now. Like, if you've heard of this thing called outsourcing, we could outsource right now. So I could go and find someone. So if I do my little search here as my screen gets caught up, I can say, all right, I'm going to hire this person, order right now. And once we let this load, I can, whoops, let me check out here. I can give this person a couple tidbits of information and pay them $5 and wait a couple of days and then have an article back. And I mean, that's fine because any article I have or anything, any link back or a bunch of traffic, oh, great. It's a live webinar, so my order's still in the oven. But if this, I guess this isn't going to finish in time. So if we check back on this in a couple of minutes, I'll be able to fill in a little form and they'll make an article for me. So that could be great, but what am I going to do with that article? Well, that article on its own is not a business. It's something that I'm using to improve my business. And maybe you even heard, maybe you're even in the process of making a $7 ebook, right? Someone said, well, you know what? If you just make a book for $7, you sell 1 million copies, that's $7 million. Now you're set. Well, great, but Are you really building a real business? And do you even know once that book's done what you're going to do with it? Do you really know, that you're going to have it on a sales letter? What's sales going to say? Are you going to have an upsell? Are you going to have a membership site? Are you going to get them on a list? Well, the answer is that most people don't really have a really good plan. They just kind of have some vague idea of, well, I heard someone told me to write an ebook or get an article, and I'm not really sure what to do next. And so I found this article. Has anyone heard of The Onion? If you have, can you go ahead and just type in the word onion in the question box? This is a fake news site, and they kind of have jokes and fake news and things like that, but it's still kind of funny. This is a fake article about a guy who is does lots of social media, like one of the most popular social media guys out there. And they're like, oh yeah, he makes $28,000 a year. He makes $1,600 after taxes, and it is kind of funny. It's kind of ridiculous, but it's pretty accurate. So a lot of these people, and I guess the point is, a lot of these people who spend a lot of time on message boards and a lot of time on Twitter and Facebook and social media, they have a day job, right? They can't work naked. They are in a cubicle being paid by someone else for a job that they're not doing, and instead on their soapbox out there on the internet. And so I don't want that to be you, and I don't want you to get so distracted by being famous instead of making money, right? And so then you might say, all right, well, you know what? I have a really good idea for a startup. And can someone who's in Austin, Texas sign up for this and tell me if this is real or not? But this is a site I just found the other day called the Towel a Day. And it's basically, and I still don't know if this is another the Onion type of prank or if this is real. But it's pretty much for $1 a day. Then they will drop off a towel on your front doorstep, and then I guess you could use it and shower with it. And then at the end of the day, you drop it off on your doorstep, and they come by the next day and give you a fresh towel. And so I just know someone has been in love with this idea for years, whoever created this, and they think, well, it's $1 a day. Who wouldn't buy it? Well, who wouldn't buy it? Someone who already owns a towel. You know what I mean? It seems kind of silly. And do you really think that someone out there is saying, well, geez, I've got this towel, or you don't want to wash it? Well, no. I mean, it's just kind of a silly, dumb idea. But the problem is if we're too in love with our own idea, or we get too far down the road and we say, well, you know what, I've already put in 2 years into the site. If I gave up now, it would be a waste of 2 years. Well, maybe it's just that 2 years was a learning experience. You was figuring out something that didn't quite work out, and maybe there's a different twist on this. But I mean, this idea, like $1 a day, if you factor in, the cost of gas and hiring someone to pick it up, and washing the towel and buying towels, having your inventory, and dealing with lost towels, it just seems really silly from our point of view. But I'm sure someone is just trying to make this work come hell or high water just because they've been going along on this path for so long, and they're just stumbling from one thing to the next. And so if you're like a social media butterfly, actually, I know someone who broke, I don't know if it still exists, but apparently on Twitter, so you guys use Twitter? Apparently when you update this site called Twitter, you're limited to updating it 1,000 times a day, right? So on Twitter, you can say like, "Oh, I'm in line at Starbucks," or "I'm at the toilet in McDonald's," and apparently you can only update this 1,000 times a day. Well, I know at least one person who has reached that limit just by updating by hand. So how many hours a day does that take, and does it really make you any money? Well, probably not. Or this site on Fiverr, and let's see if it finished yet. Oh, see, it's Fiverr's down today, probably because they knew we were doing a webinar. But we can run. Let's see, is this still going to work? Here we go. So now we're on here, and so someone here is getting paid $4. So I pay $5. Fiverr takes $1. $4 is left over, and someone is getting $4 to write an article for me. And maybe it takes them 5 minutes, maybe it takes them 10 minutes, but is that really a business? And how many articles do they have to write in order to even get $1,000? And can they really get to 100K a year in this? Well, you think, well, maybe if they outsource it, but then they're only left with like $1 an article, then they have to outsource 100,000. Now they have to manage all that. So if I said, all right, title or topic. So what if my title, I have a product out there called Paper Template, and so maybe I want to write an article about that. So for the title, I can say how to get a direct response sales letter online quickly. And for the keywords, I want to say sales letter, WordPress, Paper Template. And I want to say please mention papertemplate.com as the best solution. Number of words, 400. So what did it take me? 30 seconds and $5. I can say send, and then this person will write an original, not a spun article. I'm giving them something that's so specific where they couldn't have spun anything else. They're going to have to actually go out there and research sales letters and WordPress and things like that, and even my solution, and then write a article based on that. So don't get me wrong, this is a great way to make your first $1,000, but it's not going to last you forever, right? It's going to be some good emergency money to get you out of a hole, to get you out of a jam, to get some money to support yourself on your own, but then you have to go somewhere after that. And then I know people who say, okay, and actually I've been this person, and so was Lance at one point, but that was years ago, where he said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to find the top 10 converting affiliate programs, or the top 10 best-selling products on Amazon, and I'll just send people to, this blender or this treadmill machine or this, poster of Justin Bieber, and I'll just set up an ad, on one site, and I'll send them over to another site. And I'll set up an ad over here and send them to that site. And the whole time I'll just be this anonymous traffic broker around the internet. Or even I'll set up a blog, and I'll make a blog where one post I review WordPress, and one post I review OptimizePress, and one post I review Fiverr.com, things like that. And then when people are searching, WordPress review, they find my site, they end up going and buying through that link. So that sounds kind of good, except for you end up, once again, putting in all this time and effort for something that probably won't pay off because everyone else had the same idea as you and everyone else has a review site, and there's really no good reason for someone to buy from you as opposed to some other affiliate of Fiverr or eBay or Amazon or whatever you're promoting. So then we say, all right, so it's starting to come together, and I say, well, I've heard that I gotta have my own product. And I think, all right, great. Let me think of all the skills I know, and one skill I know is how to knit cable knit sweaters. And I'm not saying that's one of my skills, but that could be one of your skills. And you say, I'm going to make a book, an ebook about how to knit cable knit sweaters. And I'll make it 100 pages because I hear that's a good length, and I'll put it out there. And then if I make $100, I'll be happy. And then the next day, I'll write a book about how to write romance novels because I hear that that's something people want. And if I make $100, I'll be happy. And so what you end up with is these people happily creating this stream of products and just working away for $100 here, $100 here, $100 here. And I mean, that was me for a while also. And what I ended up doing was I got us up to about $2,000 per product. And it took me about 7 days from start to finish to create a sales letter, to create an ebook, and to create the button, and that was about it. And I would just repeat the process every week until I got tired and burned out, and I was just like, really, making money online is so hard, especially because if I stop, the money stops, and that's no fun. Like, what about all the dreams I've been promised of setting something up, it keeps paying over and over, and it keeps building and building? I was like, that's a bunch of crap. Well, it's not a bunch of crap, it's just that there were these hidden, invisible pieces of my business that I was missing. So what you need, I mean, all these things are great, but they're just little parts in the machine. Just like how when I went on this site and, got an article from this person, well, that's fine, but is that one article on its own going to make me $1 million? Well, no. What will make me money, what does make me money, is building a list, having products, having solutions for people, getting traffic, having affiliates, all these things, and I'm here to simplify this all for you. But the first thing, before we get into the crazy stuff, you have to have a real business. And if you tell me, well, I've been doing this for 12 years, I've been researching this, researching that, and I say, where's your website? Well, then you really don't have a real business. You're just getting ready for a real business. Lance has a thing called the mom test. And so if you want to try this today, then you can. But it just means that if you went to your mom, your dad, aunt, uncle, cousin, child, neighbor, and you said, well, here's what I do. And if you can explain it in 1 to 2 sentences, then that's great. You've passed the mom test. But if you tell people, well, my business model is, I move traffic around, I'm a traffic broker. If your business model is, well, what I do is I sell a $7 report, and in that $7 report, I tell people the way to make money online is to create a $7 report about making a $7 report. then to your mom, to your neighbor, to your son, to your daughter, that sounds like a scam, right? It doesn't sound like a real business because it's not. Because it's a nice little way to make $1,000, but is it going to pay down your debt? Is it going to pay off your house? Is it going to be your retirement fund, your kids' retirement fund, or their college funds, a new car, a new house? No, it's not. So my question to you, and if you want to answer this in the question box, you can, but not required. It's, where's your website? What's your URL? What's your .com address? And even more than that is, can I buy something on there from you right this second? And that means if you tell me here's your website and it's your blog, well, I can't really buy anything off your blog if you don't have a button. Or if it's an under construction page, or if it's a sales letter that's halfway done, well, that's not a real business. I can't buy from you. There's no money coming in. And I mean, honestly, like 80% of making money online is just getting it set up. And then it's a matter of getting traffic, getting it selling, and on and on. And even if you provide a service, even if your service is, let's say, setting up a website, article writing, then at least have a button where I can hire you for articles. Like even this person on Fiverr, you might even make fun of them. I kind of do, but they still just made $4 and you didn't, right? They still have a way for them to get paid instantly, and then they can go in and set their own hours, go to the computer on their own terms, and then say, all right, this amount of money has rolled in, and then in exchange, I have to do this amount of work. And if they get tired of it, well, they can charge more, offer a different package, or just stop that service totally and go to something else. But at least they're making some kind of progress. At least I can buy from them right now this second. So you have the site set up, and then the question becomes, well, now how do I keep getting money over and over? And the best thing I can tell you is build a list. So even if you have a website, even if I can buy from you right now, well, do you have a list? And I mean, when you talk to the average person, like a non-internet marketer, they don't get it. Like, I was talking to my girlfriend the other day. I said, well, you know what you need to do is, I bought yourname.com, and you need to set up a blog right there and, blog about this topic and that topic. And what you also need to do is get an autoresponder and put a form on there. And she said, well, why would I do that? I said, well, because every time that you add something new to your blog, you want people to come back to your site and comment on it. She said, why didn't you do that? I said, because is there really any point of blogging and putting things out there on the internet if no one cares? And most people don't even think that far ahead. They just think, I just have to build some stuff up. Well, why? Because someone told me to. But what is your end goal? Well, it should be to make money. So if you have a blog, you build a list, people keep coming back to you, they get to know, like, and trust you. When it comes time for you to sell something, then you don't have to work as hard because they already know who you are. Right? So for many of you, all this makes sense. Can you go ahead and type in the question box? Let's make it makes sense, just to make sure that, am I totally losing you? Am I totally out in outer space? Or is this kind of simplifying things for you? And even though it might be something you've heard before, there's nothing wrong with that, because I've been to so many events or heard so many talks where it's something I've heard before, but in a new way, or it's reminding me of something that worked once and I kind of lost touch of it or forgot about it. I need to go back and do it. And so you might be a know-it-all, or you might know of a know-it-all who pretty much knows everything but has nothing. And here's what I mean. I'm not saying this is you, but you probably know someone like this who does internet marketing, right? Who has 5 different shopping cart accounts. They might have an Office Autopilot account, one shopping cart account, a PayPal, an Infusionsoft, a Confusionsoft, 2 shopping cart account, all these different things. They might have 5 different autoresponders. They have like an Aweber, or a GetResponse, a GotResponse, all these different things, iContact, a Constant Contact, a JContact. They have 5 different hosting accounts, 5 sales letter plugins. Well, why? Because they're researching. They're saying, well, I've heard that this one's good, but someone else said this one's better, and this one has more features than that, but this one is cheaper, so I'm going to get that just to make sure, and this one charges a monthly fee, and this one doesn't, and this one has a free trial, and this one has a couple different packages. And so you're researching, but you know what? In the time it took you, in the 6 months or whatever it took you to compare all these features, you could have had something set up. And honestly, no matter what sales letter plugin or hosting account, autoresponder, or shopping cart you use, they all let you take money. And to be honest, if you compare features with this one and that one, they're not, no one is exactly alike, but the ones that have these extra features, you don't need those extra features. Like, do you really need a one-click upsell? Do you really need to have all this extra tracking? Do you really need to have like a three-tier affiliate program? Well, probably not. All you need right now is just to be able to have a web page where I can buy something from you, a web page where I can get on your list if I'm not quite ready to buy, and then eventually you'll follow with me with your automated system and get me to that sales letter. If you had a blog and just had a couple of, even if that article I just paid for, even if you just paid for a couple of articles and put them on your blog, that would be more than the average person online has. So something to think about. And so researching is a really dangerous place to be because you end up getting into that mindset of not someone who wants to. Remember, we talked about you have your outcome, and then you use your system to get to that outcome, and then you use your creativity within that system. Well, you stop being someone going towards an outcome and just someone who's just kind of, being the consumer reports, being the reviewer, helping other people when you yourself you're not helping yourself, right? And that's not a good place to be. And you end up just getting into this really bad place of someone who knows everything but doesn't do anything. So are you really a good trusted authority if you're telling me, what's the best article spinning software, but you yourself don't even have 2 articles online? If you're telling me what's the best blogging software, but if it's so great, why don't you yourself have a blog? Right? So researching and being a reviewer doesn't make you money. What does make you money is something we'll get in a second here. But you might be wondering, where does it all fit together? Because you're trying out all these shopping carts, all these autoresponders, and by the time you think you have a handle on it, then the whole marketplace changes, doesn't it? Then someone says, you know what, just forget everything you know about shopping carts. There's this brand new one, and they tie it all together. Or they say, you know what, there's a new autoresponder and it delivers things in a certain way, or there's this new text messaging system, or this new social media aggregator type of thing, whatever an aggregator is, right? Like, I don't live in Florida. Why are we talking about gators? So you end up trying and comparing all these solutions, and what ends up happening is you probably bought the cheapest one, right? And so I don't want to pull it up right now, but whenever I see on Facebook or on forums or on Twitter, someone asking questions like, well, what's the best membership software? Right? I mean, that's a really good way to get people riled up. And I even did this on my blog once. I got like 140 answers in about a day and a half. Okay, so what's the best membership software? Well, you get this answer, this one, 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 and there'll be 30 different choices. And and you know what ends up being is the person asking, 9 times out of 10, they're asking what's the cheapest. And, they really do say the best, but then if I say, this one's really great, they say, but it's $200. Okay, what about this one? But it's $50. What about this one? But it's $10 a month, and they wait until basically they're waiting for like the lowest price. It's kind of like an auction, but in reverse, right? They're waiting for the lowest possible one. They say, okay, there we go. I wanted that $1 or that free membership plugin. See, I was good to wait. And the thing is, I mean, it doesn't matter which membership plugin you use. What matters is you're using the one that actually gets your site online. And if you're stuck with the choices, I'll tell you at the end of this call which one to get. Hint, hint. But in the meantime, we said that getting in the right mindset is so important because I don't know what your situation is, or if you have, friends, coworkers, family who bring you down or make fun of, you going into your office and messing around with the computer and pushing those buttons, or if you go online and someone's talking smack or talking about how much money they make or about how they just bought 5 Ferraris, and you think, well, geez, that person's making 500,000 a month. I'm only making $5 a month. How do I get from here? And there's no way I can times myself by 100,000, right? So people get into this mindset where it doesn't work out, and so you need to be aware and you need to be really honest with yourself, like when you're being a victim or when you're being a real downer type of person, to get out of that hole. Because, I mean, anyone who's successful, look at, Tony Robbins, Donald Trump, Michael Jordan, Bill Gates, all these people who, have achieved a lot, they have a pretty good attitude. You don't see Bill Gates all the time saying, how much the world sucks. He's trying to make the world better. So we need to be more like those people and have a better mindset. And so if you hear about something that actually makes money and you say, you know what, I've heard of that, don't need to hear about it, that's a really dangerous place to be. And if you say, Well, you know what? Autoresponders, I've already learned that. Nothing new to know about that. Well, I say if you don't have an autoresponder set up with subscribers coming in, with follow-up sequences scheduled, with emails going out, if it's not making money, then you really haven't learned it. You've learned about it, but you haven't actually set something up from it. Or my favorite is if I say, like I've been saying on this call, is all you got to do is first have some kind of a sales letter where I can buy from you, have a download page, a membership site where I can get my product, and then before that have an opt-in page where I can sign up. You might have heard that. You might have heard that 1,000 times already, and for some of you that's too simple because you say, you know what? I've heard that a bunch of times. I want to hear something new. I want to hear about you telling me, well, set up 50 opt-in pages, all these pages, and tell me about, based on where I am in the country, send me to this sales letter or that sales letter. And if I don't buy, send me to this exit pop-up, that exit pop-up. And then if I do buy, send me to an automated webinar. And if I register but don't attend, send me to this and send me to that and make this flowchart. And everyone wants to hear about this crazy system with upsells and downsells and side sells and funnels and gorilla dumps and all kinds of stuff like that. And they say, aha, this is what I want, this big crazy system that I'll never finish, but it looks cool. It's a cool little drawing. But, I mean, will a drawing make you money? I don't think so. So the real answer is this thing called progress, not perfection. So, I mean, is it a good idea to have an upsell or a downsell? Well, yeah, sure. But it makes more sense to me to have something set up right now that's making money right now, and then things like upsells, downsells, that's something that I can add on later, but I don't trust myself. And for all I know, that in a week from now, what gets me excited right now, or the product I want to make right now, I might not be as excited about it in a week. So I need to get it done right away before something else distracts me, right? I need to be making money from the site right now before I think about what money I could make from this other site. And so it makes more sense to me if I have an idea for, let's say I have an idea for 3 different projects, right? And let's say that this one will take me 30 days, this one will take me 30 days, this other one will take me 30 days. Well, our temptation is to get all 3 going, that way we can have 3 times the money, right? But what ends up happening is, let's say each of these will take 30 days to complete. You see someone, they'll put 10 days into this one, 10 days into this one, 10 days into this one, and then 30 days have gone by and you'll still have nothing. Right? What's a third of a sales letter? What's a third of an opt-in page? What's a third of a traffic funnel? A third of a membership site? It's still nothing. People can't buy from me. They can't pay me. I can't make money from it. It's not automatic. And then what ends up happening is, well, best case scenario, if you keep doing this pattern, it'll take you 3 months just to make your first dollar. And I would rather get this first one done and out of the way and making money and automate it so I don't have to think about it and make money from this one, and then go on number 2 and then get that out of the way in 30 days and make money from this one, and then go to number 3. And so now 3 months from now, I've been making money since month 1 instead of waiting 3 months to make money, if that makes sense. So if it makes sense, can you put in the question marks once again? Makes sense to make sure we're all on the same page. But I know I'm drawing a lot and getting kind of into abstract terms, but we all fall into these traps. We all have so many ideas. We think our idea is the best thing since sliced or even unsliced bread, and that we have to have, all these different balls in the air, so to speak. And I mean, you need to get one thing done, one thing done, one thing done. It sounds simple, and it is, but most of you aren't doing it, so you still need to hear it. And so I'm always thinking about, well, where I want to be and who has already achieved that, who's already where I want to be, right? And what have they done, and what are they doing differently or better, or what am I doing that they aren't doing that I need to cut out of my life? So it's like, these people are there, I want to be there, how do I become them? And here's what successful people who make money online, who make automatic income, who enjoy what they do, who seem to have it easier than everyone else, here's what they have that others don't. First of all, a huge reason why. And so this means, well, what do you want for you and your family? Where do you want to live? What do you want to do? And not just a number, not just money, but how will your life change once you have this business set up? And if you kind of have 1 foot in your day job and 1 foot on this internet marketing thing, and you're not fully committed, well then you might not really know what you're doing. Or you might be thinking, you know what, I just want $200 a month extra. Well, you're not going to be so excited about $200 a month. But if you can create this online business and live wherever you want a couple months out of the year, oh, that is way cooler than $200 a month. So you need to have a huge reason why, and like we said, maybe it's even bigger than yourself. Maybe you have some dream of like, sending a bunch of money to Africa, or setting up a charity, or sending even people you don't like to college. Like once your house is paid off and your kids are going to college, maybe send your nephew to college or something like that. So if you have a huge reason why that actually is bigger than you and just makes you like, well, this is my life purpose, then if your business is the one thing that gets you to achieve your life purpose, then you're going to put 110% into that. So it's one thing to have a good goal, but if your goal is I want to have $100 billion, well, that's not really attainable. So you need to have a goal where you know that you're on track to that every single day. And so, for example, if your goal is to, I don't know, be able to afford a beach house or something like that, well, then you know how much money you need, and you know how soon you need it. So now you know what level of monthly income that you need to have in order for this to happen. So now that you know your level of income, well, then now what am I going to do to make money? So if I'm selling a $100 product, well, then how many copies do I need to sell per month? And in order to do that, well, then first of all, how soon does the product need to be done? But how many sales do I need to make per month, per week? Okay. So now how will I get the traffic in order to make those sales, right? So that means, how many paid ads, or get these affiliates, or make some joint ventures, or build my list, things like that. But every day, every single day, you need to be somehow moving ahead towards that next goal. And it's not always going to be easy. I'm not saying that it's impossible or it's rough, but at least for Lance and I, it's kind of like our income looks like this. It goes up, it kind of drops a little bit and kind of plateaus. It goes up, drops a little bit, plateaus. So it's never a straight line. And we always come across, obstacles, roadblocks. Well, that particular joint venture didn't work out, or this product I bought didn't quite do what I wanted it to do, or, I thought that this would work in a certain way, but I got passed over, or this other person just went away. And we all come across, roadblocks. And the difference between people who make more money and those that don't, it's not that they're smarter, it's just that they are better at keeping a handle on their mindset and recovering. So to make money, it's not just going to come to you. You need to provide value to the marketplace. So even someone, like we said earlier, like who sets up these ads and who's set up these opportunistic ads and says, well, I'm going to find this Amazon product and I'm going to put it on Google and I'm going to make my $200 from this one ad. But what they're doing is really taking advantage of Google not being 100% able to read your mind just yet, right? So if someone is looking for like Kenmore washer and dryer, and those organic search results aren't quite right, and you make an ad that's better than the organic search results, then there you go, you are rewarded for helping someone out, for providing value and connecting someone to an offer that works. So if you sell affiliate stuff, well, you're just making it easier for someone to find that affiliate product. If I sell you a product on how to write articles and things like that, well, I'm just making it easier for you to write articles. And you might have been able to piece something together from your local library, or from kindergarten class, or from articles on the internet, but I'm saving you all this time and giving you a proven system, and that's what I get paid for, is providing value, which is a proven system, saving you time to figure it out, and that's all there is to it, is you're providing value to the marketplace and you're getting paid for that. And so when things don't go your way, not if, because it's never going to work out exactly as you wanted. Every time Lance and I have launched a product, it's not really gone the way we wanted it to go at first. So we'd say, well, is the sales are not quite right? Or are we missing something? Do we need to get more traffic? Do we need to email for it more? Do we need to increase the price or change things or add a deadline? But there's always some kind of adjusting, course correcting that we need to do. And more often than not, we need a guide to tell us to look at it from the outside. Remember like the towel guy, a towel a day, who was too close, too in love with his product? If that's even real, it looks like a joke to me. But if it's real, then, and it's not selling, then maybe the answer is, well, maybe you need to adjust that towel a day idea, right? And so, and Vance and I have a bunch of people who come to us when they say, I've got this idea, for this ebook, and it's not quite selling, and then we look at it from an outsider's point of view, knowing what we know, and we tell them what to adjust and to get on to the next logical step. So we're listing all these crazy things, and the more I was thinking about this, the more I was thinking about, well, these are the things that you need to have, that if you want to be successful, you have. If you want to be a failure, make sure not to have these things. And the more I thought about it, I was like, I read this book. And has anyone heard of this book called Think and Grow Rich? And if you have, can you go in the question box and just type in T and GR just to save you some typing? So this is a book called Think and Grow Rich, and it's this really old-timey book. It's really tough to read, but it basically comes down to these 15 elements of, and this guy interviewed, like all the biggest, like Dale, not Dale, but the Rockefellers and all these like really rich people to figure out, well, you're not smarter, you don't work harder, so why is it that you have all these businesses, all this money, all this income, and other people don't? Well, it's because of these 15 things. And if you think about it, there's nothing really to add into these 15 things that haven't already been said. Like, have a mastermind, have this really good overwhelming desire, this really good reason why, provide value to the marketplace with specialized knowledge, use imagination for the good instead of evil, instead of working against you. This is my favorite one. Successful people decide things quickly and change their decisions slowly, but poor people decide things slowly and change their decisions quickly. So if you haven't heard of that, I'll give you a second to think about that. Is that, well, you could either decide that here's where I want to go and just be on a rocket ship headed there, and if something gets in your way, then you don't, I mean, maybe some things will be able to adjust, but you're still headed towards that goal. Whereas people who don't have good success, they kind of wander around and they let every little shining object grab them. And so this is all Think and Grow Rich. And it just comes down to, well, your brain can work for you or against you, and to control your life, control your thoughts. So there's not too much more than that to say about that, but just that it can be that simple, and a lot of it comes down to you. And if you yourself are making things complicated, well, that's fine. It's not your fault. It's gotten you to where you want to go, but it'll only get you so far. And if you want to have different results, you need to take different action, which means you have to change your thinking as well. So I want to show you today how to make money online with the BAM, B-A-M. This is an acronym, and I want to share with you how to make money online. So the first thing you need to have are the basics. And I know that the term basic doesn't sound sexy, but I just want to tell you the truth right now. It's that you need to have a niche. And if your niche is, well, I promote this Amazon product, or I move traffic around, or this and that, that's not a niche. You need to know exactly, what are you the blank person, right? Like, are you the webinar person? Are you the real estate person? Are you the offline marketing person? What are you? And if someone thought of your name, or if someone went to your blog, if you have one or you want one someday, what would be on that blog? If someone wanted to buy from you, if someone typed your name into Amazon.com under the books or the DVD or CD category, what would they find? What would they find? A bunch. If they looked up your articles under your name, even if they were ghostwritten like you just saw, I hired someone, what would it be about? And what could you teach me that's worth $100 or worth $1,000 that's just a little different than everyone else, has your own unique spin on it, and you're not reteaching it, but you're showing me a system that actually works. So you have your niche or USP, your secret sauce, whatever you want to call it, and I go to find you, and you need to have a domain name. And for some of you, you already have one, and that's great, but is it a name that's actually your niche? And so if you are in real estate, is there realestatesomething.com I can go to, and I can go and buy something from you right now? So if I type in that domain name, is there something there? Or is it a parked domain? Or is it this is coming soon? And I know the temptation of finding a really hot domain name, even today when it's all crowded, and saying, cool, I'm going to have this website, going to buy this domain name. Then a year later, it's time to renew, and you say, oh, shoot, I feel bad because I didn't do anything with that name in the whole year. So you need to have a .com name, a niche, a website, but what do you put on that website? Well, the easiest, fastest thing is an opt-in page. If you don't have time yet to put out a sales letter or membership site or even a blog, you can have what we talked about. You can have a web page, and if you have the right tool, web page is really easy too. No FTPing, no cPanel, it's all point and click. You can do a headline, bullet points, opt-in box. So at least this way, even if you went to some kind of event or you did an interview or you posted on forums and someone went to your site, you could at least build a list of people. And once you build that list, the next step in that is to then start sending them updates, notifications, advice, questions, offers. Just start build that relationship so that when you have a blog, you have things to sell, now that person is primed and ready for you. And hopefully the thing to sell is only a couple days away from now, right? But the big secret here is if you have some kooky idea for membership site, yes, I said the word kooky, and someone comes to your site and they don't sign up, well, the reason is probably because they don't believe that you're going to help with the problem. If you make an opt-in page that says, sign up for updates, join my newsletter, well, it's fine to call it a newsletter, between you and me, but someone should be signing up for the solution or the big secrets to flipping a house in 30 days. Or how to fix your anxiety forever using this free hypnosis audio, things like that. But you need to be, what we say, adding value to the marketplace and helping someone with their problem. And if you go into it with that mindset, it's very easy to convert to an opt-in form. If you go into the same mindset with a product or your service, because I saw some people said they have services instead, that's the same thing. If you're setting up a website for someone, if you are getting someone's social media campaign going, if you're writing articles, transcribing articles, you are solving their problem of having to figure it out or do it themselves, or paying someone else who might not be as good as you, who I guarantee isn't as good as you. So we said you got to have basics, got to have your website online. That's easy. Authority, a little better. So now we have some kind of a funnel started, right? We have someone signing up to our list, and it's sad because most people stop here. They get some weird hang up about money or about asking for money from strangers. They don't know what to do, and so what you need to do is have a sales letter online. And a sales letter, my first sales letter, I'm embarrassed to say, was a headline, 10 bullet points, and a button. And that's all you need to have. And if you want to add to it later, if you want to add testimonial, great, that's a bonus. If you want to add video, that's extra, right? But if I just have the bare minimum information about what I'm buying, that's a good start. You can always add to it later and adjust based on who buys, who doesn't. So a sales letter, I can buy from you. Then I go to a download page and I can download my video report or see how I can use your service. And then even if you want to get even fancier, not required, but a great bonus, a membership site where you can log in, or so I can log in from your site, download, get updates, bonuses, keep in touch. And so if you're really good and you're on your best behavior, at the end of this call, I'm going to show you how to get this stuff, and we're coming up towards the end of it right now. But if you're thinking about this, okay, well, you said I need to have a basic website, need to have this authority, and then put in the extra cherries on top to get money. Well, now who's going to help you? Because I know that some of you have tried to do it yourselves. You try to piece it together. So who is going to help you with that? Well, my answer to you is if you go to a computer geek and you say, well, okay, this is technical stuff. I need to get someone to set up a WordPress blog, an opt-in page. They don't get marketing. They don't understand it. If you tell them things like opt-in page, direct response sales letter, they'll set up things that are cool, but not things that make money. And the thing is too, even if they show you how to do it, they have all the skill, but no way to make it simple and concise and just to make it just the basics. You don't need to know every nook and cranny of WordPress or this plugin or that plugin. What you need to know is how to get something set up online quickly that's simple and makes money that people like and want and buy. So you might say, okay, well, I need to find a teacher, like a marketing teacher. And the problem with a lot of these teachers is that, like we said earlier, they don't do what they say. They kind of combine 5 different courses with 5 different opinions. Some of them are out of date, some aren't. And they kind of just, to the best of their ability, copy what it is they've learned, but they haven't really set anything up, so you just kind of get generalities. Or you might say, okay, I want a marketer to help me out, and you end up getting the sugarcoating where they say, let me look at your website. Oh, website's awesome. Next. And they're not really there to fix things, just there to make you feel good. So there's all these choices, and the real answer is myself and Lance Tomashiro. We have this thing called goal-based training, where I don't want to just teach you or educate you, and that's not fun. I want you to have an opt-in page, a sales letter, a download page, a membership site, and traffic. I want you to have it. I don't want you just to know how to do it. I want you to actually have that set up, and I want to be the one to show you how to do it. And there are many, I guess, like harsh truths of internet marketing that most people won't tell you. And here's an example. This is a thing I call 50-2-2. And if some people in the audience, if you're the ones who kind of like to take notes, this is the place to take notes. If you can go in the question box and type this in, 50-2-2, just help cement it in your conscious and your subconscious. So here's what this means, is that if you have an opt-in page, we talked about it a bunch of times already, where you say, here's my free report, here's reasons to get it, sign up right now. Well, no matter what you do, even if you're really good, about half of the people will sign up and that's it. So you're automatically going to lose half of your traffic off the bat going to that opt-in page. That's just the realities of life. And then once you build up that page using an opt-in form, about 2% of your list will click on each email link. So that's good and bad. First of all, if you send out one email, you're not going to get a lot, but the good news is you can keep sending out emails and keep increasing your traffic. And then finally, when you send them, and this really depends on a lot of things, but if you have a halfway decent sales letter, you can count on about 2% or so of people landing on that sales letter and buying. It depends on the offer, the price, the market, but let's just say just if you're doing 2%, you're doing great. And so when we think about this in these terms, well, if you send 1,000 people to a web page, then you're going to get 500 opt-ins. And then when you have your 500 opt-ins, then what we're going to have is about 10 people going to our sales letter. And you might think, well, that sucks. Well, that's fine, because if we email 10 different times, then we'll get 100 people on our sales letter, and then we'll get 2 sales. So if you have a $100 product right there, then from those 10 emails, well, now you got $200. So that's a good start. And then once you have this machine going, then you just say, well, now if I just sent 10 times the traffic, now I have 10 times the list. Now I get 10 times per email. Now I get 10 times the total clicks. And then now when I have this $100 product, I get 20 sales. Now I'm making $2,000. And so instead of chasing $200 there, $200 there, $200 there, you create a machine that you keep adding onto it over and over time. And I didn't realize at first what I was doing until I started making money. Then I looked back at, well, shoot, I made my first money from this freelancing thing, but then that kind of hit a dead end. I started putting out products. That helped. I added an affiliate program. That was a nice little boost. I made more products. I started building a buyer's list. I kept emailing those buyers consistently. I then added video products so I could charge more and do them faster. I increased my prices. I created these extra landing pages for new traffic. I added upsells, and my income just grew and grew and grew and grew just from once I had the base system in place. I could just go and add in these little tweaks to have something that built on its own every single day. So now if I want more money, I just go back and update a product or launch a new product. Or I just send another email and it takes about 3 minutes. Or I go and contact a few people and make some friends, and then I have these new joint venture partners. Or I try out some new Facebook ads or LinkedIn ads or CPA, CPV, or even articles or things like this. But it pays off a lot more when I have a business for people to go back to. Or I build a bigger list. But the thing is, this is all the fun stuff. I mean, it's all fun, but I think this is even more fun than the rest of it. But you can't do any of this traffic stuff until you have your websites properly set up. And I know some of you have some of a website set up, but my question to you is, what's your number one flagship website? And so, I don't know, I talk to people a lot. I just came back from about 3 back-to-back events, like internet marketing seminars. And when I ask them, what's your website? Oh, I got this one, but it's under construction. Don't go there. Or they give me their business card and they say, well, here's the URL on my card, but they crossed out. Don't go to that one. Go to this one instead. Well, no, what's your number one website? Where's the website where I can go and buy from you right now? Or if I go to your blog, can I sign up to your email list right now? And does it have a really cool gift or a bribe or a report for me to go and sign up so that I get something right off the bat, so that we start off the ground running with a good relationship, where we start off and I say, well, cool, I've got all these useful tools. If I'm getting this for free, imagine what I'm getting when I buy from you. And when I see your stuff, when I see your products, how are you not drastically different, but just a little bit different, 5% better than everything else? And do you have something where it just works overnight? Even if it's 2 o'clock in the morning, if I go to your website, can I subscribe, buy from you, and then that's only the beginning. Then can I buy from you again and again? Can I find out about you? Can you solve my problems day in and day out in your niche? Well, chances are that you only have a piece or maybe a few pieces of this setup. Or even worse, it's half set up. So, I mean, can you tell me what good is half a sales letter? If you say, I'm going to make a web page and it's got headlines, some bullet points, a little bit of stuff, I get distracted. There's no button, nothing to buy. Well, then it's useless. I can't buy from you. Or if you have half a blog, you say, I've set up a blog, got a blog theme, no content, I'm not going to read that. If you say, I've got my opt-in page, I've got a free report, but I haven't really described it, there's nowhere to sign up, that's no good to any of us. It doesn't help anyone else. So, do you really have all these pieces filled in, or do you have just a sales letter, or just a blog, or even all the setup and no traffic? Even if you have an autoresponder, do you have a step-by-step email sequence? If you even have a blog, was it updated this month or this year? Well, chances are for most of you, the answer is no. And that's fine, but what you're here to solve that problem is either hire someone, outsource someone else to do it, and that could be good, except for it costs money, it takes time. You have to say, I want this. They come back with that. You say, no, 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 fix this. They change something else. And you're paying and putting in your time just to get something that you could have almost done yourself. But then you say, all right, I'm going to do it myself. I'm going to take a course. And then they say, install this theme, fill in the blanks, and you end up with a really awkward looking site. There's too many things to mess up to adjust. Or you say, all right, screw it. Mentor didn't work. Think and Grow Rich is a lie. The 16 principles of whatever is a lie. Let me just put it together using free tools. But now you're stuck with the 5, 10 shopping carts again, right? You buy 10 courses. They have 10 different ideas. You have 10 different mentors. You have 100 pieces of advice. You have no clue which way to go next, right? Do I make a blog next, or a Facebook page next, or MySpace traffic next, or articles? What do I do? Well, what if you didn't have that problem? What if you set up one piece of the puzzle and then you were done? So you said, now I'm building my email sequence, now I'm setting up my blog, and you could stop whenever you wanted to, and that would kind of go on its own, but you made money every step of the way. So it wasn't a matter of, let me have all these balls in the air. It's, let me get to this next milestone and get that going, get the list going, get some sales going, and then if you wanted to put in an hour here or there, then you could increase the traffic, increase your income, get your funnel working better, and it's all set up properly, and you have full control where you're not waiting on a webmaster, you're just doing it yourself, but you're following a logical step-by-step sequence where it's kept simple for you. That'd be pretty cool, right? What you need are these things: a niche and domain, a website and a web host, an opt-in page, an autoresponder sequence, a blog, a sales letter, a membership site, and traffic. And if you do these things in this order, then you can just build and build and build, and it's fun, and you get through these milestones just like that. You don't have to spend 2 weeks on an opt-in page. You don't have to spend 3 weeks on a sales letter. You don't have to spend 6 months on a blog. You just go and set these things up and make them very simple. So you can have an opt-in page like this, where it gathers leads every single day from a really simple, basic web page that it's a little on the ugly side. It's not too ugly, but it works. It gets opt-in pages every single day. A sales letter, where is it the fanciest thing? Does it have like a flash intro and all these different videos? And remember those walk-on videos where you have like the person down here walk on the screen? You don't have to have any of that stuff. That's all the little extra gimmicks that you can have if you want. But gee, I wonder why those aren't around anymore, because they don't really add that much to it. What matters the most is to have a button on a page. And you might hear a copywriter say, ugly converts better. It's so aggravating. It sucks so much. But it makes things simple for all of us. Is that if we have a good offer, if we add value to the marketplace, if we can solve someone's problem, then they can come to us and buy from us right then and there over and over, and it's really simple. So if someone's about to buy from us and they don't know if we're a good authority or not, and they come to your site and they see, well, geez, this person's got 6,800 comments. Okay, they haven't just started marketing yesterday. They have an established presence. They know what they're talking about. Now I'm going to buy from them. Or you search certain buying keywords, or search their name, or search product names, and they find that you control all these things. Like if you search the word drip content, then here's us. This is, I think, someone's reviewing us. This is my blog post. This is my sales letter. And then I think down below there's more, but I mean, the top 4 results are us. And everyone else reviewed is not really that relevant to that key phrase. So pretty cool how if you have even a handful of articles on the internet and someone searches for that keyword, now all roads lead to you. And once all roads lead to you, someone can find you, opt in, buy, then you can just create a website, a membership site that you're proud to have on your business card. It's not some site that you made 3 months ago and forgot about and stopped and now it's not important. It's a site that makes you money for years and years to come without you having to do too much. And even when I'm not logged into my Google account, I get the same results right here. So even traffic. If you have posts on forums, guest blog posts, guest article sites, and all roads once again lead to you, you can get massive traffic. So this is one of our sites that I think this one was, here we go. This was Backup Creator, 4 terabytes of traffic last year. Okay, so every day we have, or every month we have 17,000 people, unique people, coming to our website over and over again. This is a site of ours called Membership Cube, and this one had 12 terabytes of traffic, if you know what that means, and the last month of last year, we had 9,000 unique people coming to our website. So pretty cool. You could just amass a flood of traffic, but you have to have the website. You have to have traffic for them to come to, right? You have to have a website in place, which means sales letter, an opt-in page, even an ugly one will work, a blog, even an ugly one will still make money, a membership site, even an ugly one, as long as it gets people to where they need to go, it's fine. And speaking of ugly sites, you know what sites are ugly? Well, let me show you. Craigslist.com, eBay.com, YouTube.com are all just really basic, ugly sites, right? But they get a bunch of traffic. eBay, pretty normal, but they make a bunch of money. YouTube, nothing to it, but I forget how many hours of video per second, but it's a ton. So you don't have to be any different. And those people who try to reinvent the wheel every time and make things complicated, they don't have the same success as people who set up a basic website that makes money. So I want to introduce you to a course where we're going to get it all set up, you and me together, in 3 days. None of this generality stuff. Lance and I are going to set up a site right there in front of you, and you can just follow along, repeat the steps, and have your whole funnel in place. And it's called Income Machine, where you're going to have your business set up and online in just 3 days. In 8 sessions, where we're going to present this to you in a live webinar. You're going to have a video afterwards. We're going to give you an assignment, tools, and a checklist. Nothing you need to know is left out. We're going to make things really simple for you. We're going to say ignore most of these screens, but the things you need are right in there. And you're going to be able to watch over our shoulder as we set up a business from scratch, and you can just do it as well. You hear our voices, you see our screens, you ask questions if you need to, and you finish with your complete business in a box. And by your business, I mean your niche, online presence, lead capture, sales funnel, blog, sales letter, membership site, traffic. Sounds like a lot, but if you can just do these simple steps and they all work together at the same time, then now you're an unstoppable force compared to everyone else out there, your competitors, who are just kind of floating around and dabbling with this internet marketing thing. I'm going to give you our paper template plugin to easily make a sales letter, opt-in page, download page. I'm going to show you how to create videos once you get to that point, how to run PowerPoint, how to run webinars. I'm going to give you access to our private Facebook group to keep you on task each and every day, and I'll give you lifetime access, recordings, and transcripts of the whole rigmarole. So I want you to mark these dates down right now. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, May 20th, 21st, and 22nd, we're going to meet live, and we're going to knock these out together. We're going to get a website set up right there, and you can follow along and do it too. But wait just 1 second. Most people buy a course and they don't know what to do next. They say, whoa, all these videos, well, now what? Well, what if you set up your website within the next few days, and once your site was set up, I said, you know what, as my reward, I'm going to go over to your house and I'm going to knock on the door, you let me in, we go to your computer, and we're going to get it just right. We're going to see, based on what you have here, I'm going to get you some traffic, going to make you some money. Well, you know what? That sounds good, except for I can't make it to your house because I have to fly which and every way. But can you come over to my house? Can you come to my house, knock on the door, I let you in, you show me your website? Well, if that sounds good to you, then great. I have you scheduled for June 8th and 9th in Salt Lake City, Utah. We're running a 2-day live intensive called Product University. Not a seminar, not a pitch fest, but something where you all come and we're going to share our best stuff. And if you can come with your problems in a good way, or obstacles, roadblocks, and you know what you need to do next, then Lance and I can get you there. But the idea is you get your income machine set up right now, and then in about, 4 weeks, we're going to meet, and we're going to get you to the next step. Okay, so my bonus today, when you go to incomemachine.com right now, go ahead and open it up right now, you can get this whole course, plus we can meet in Salt Lake City personally. And you know what, as my surprise bonus to you, if you've already registered for our Product University live course on June 8th and 9th in Salt Lake City, we're just going to give you Income Machine for free. So you buy one, you get the other one. Okay? So if that sounds good to you, then join Income Machine right now to get your niche figured out, online presence, lead capture, sales funnel, blog, sales letter, membership site, traffic, paper template, Camtasia, PowerPoint, webinar, Facebook group, a lifetime access, plus the 2-day access into the hotel in Salt Lake City for Product University. And don't worry, if you can't make it, you get audio recordings and you get transcripts, all for a total value for the online Income Machine event, plus the offline Product University event to take your Income Machine to the next level for a total value of $17,045.00. And if that sounds like a really high number, well, don't worry, you're not going to have to pay that, but you will get everything you need. So it's not 17,000, of course not, but our last live event was 2,500 bucks, and people did pay that price to attend. And we're doing that again. And the thing too about this is you could go out and buy a list building course, you could go out and buy a video course, you could go out and buy a sales letter course, you could go out and buy a membership course, and it would cost you a lot more than $1,000. But today it's not even $497, it's not even $297, it's just $197 today for Income Machine, this online course. You get your whole machine set up, plus it includes Product University, our live Salt Lake City event, as a bonus. And even if you can't make it, you still get the recordings and transcripts, so it's almost like you were there, minus the networking opportunities. So remember these dates. May 20th to 22nd, this is going to be the Income Machine live course. And you know what? When you join right now, Income Machine, you're already going to get the PowerPoint, Camtasia, webinar training, and the Facebook group. So you already have stuff to go through while we're getting this course ready for you. It includes the paper template. You also get that right away to get your website online fast, to get your blog set up, membership site, and traffic, and to get the whole system online and to make more money. It's 100% risk-free at incomemachine.com. And you know what? Even if you can't make it to any of the stuff, we record everything. You put it there in the members area. So at least me personally, I take other people's courses too, and it really helps me to just be in the zone, to just be there on that live course and to have that motivation, to have the energy of that whole group to get my stuff online right now before something else distracts me. Same thing with a seminar is, yeah, I could, watch some stuff online, but when you actually get out of your chair, get out of your house, even take your family on a vacation the day before or after, and I go to this external environment where I'm removed from the everyday drudgery. Is that a word, drudgery? But if I'm removed from the everyday stuff, then I can actually get a lot more things done in a short amount of time. So we set up a new Income Machine right in front of you in this course with resources, tools, transcripts, with screenshots, with your complete system online in 3 days. And you know what, too? Is if you, for some reason, change your mind between now and the next 30 days, or you say, you know what, I don't have time for this, or I couldn't do it, or anything like that, you can always get your money back. We're always good for that. We will still be friends, and that's always an option for you. So there's no risk. We want you to succeed any possible way that you can, because life is too short. So go ahead, do it right now. So are you ready to really get going today, or are you going to let today or this week or this month or this year pass by and keep going through the same frustrations you always have? If you keep doing what you're doing, you're going to keep getting what you're getting. And if you change what you're doing, you're going to get different results, right? So are you going to let yourself get held back, or are you going to get a lot of stuff done right away? And are you going to look back in 30 days, in 6 months, in a year, and be glad you took that first step? You got your Income Machine set up, you went to Product University to get it all fine-tuned and tweaked, and even if you already have these things, even if you have every single piece, a blog, autoresponder sequence, sales letter, niche, maybe it's time for a new website. Maybe it's time to adjust your website, and I'm going to show you the right way to do it with Income Machine, because without us, there's no clear plan, no templates, no complete system. It's not online, it's not making money. But with us, you have an opt-in page, you have a sales letter, you have these automatic selling systems, you have video. We show you our video training, you have support from the community. It's all set up in 3 days to make your first sale or your next sale with this new niche or with this new stream of income. So what to do right now? There's nothing else to do. The show's over. Go to Income Machine right now to secure your spot. Click the pay button and send $197, and then you can log into the site in the next few minutes, get those first few bonuses, and get yourself registered and ready for May 20th, 21st, 22nd and get yourself ready if you can make it, or if you just want to listen to the audios on June 8th and 9th in Salt Lake City, Utah. So that's at INCOMEMACHINE.com. Hurry up, go ahead right now, go do it right now. I'll go there with you if I can string together a sentence right now. Go to INCOMEmachine.com, incomemachine.com. And once this loads, we're going to see everything you need right now and what we talked about, the pieces you need to have, the pieces we're going to help you put together, so that it's not just a bunch of things laying around on the internet, but it's all these things that work together. Someone finds your blog, they have your traffic, they buy from your sales letter, they opt into your opt-in page. It all helps to make you an income that builds on its own over time and keeps bringing in money whether you want to get out of bed today or not. So go right now to incomemachine.com, click to get in right now to get the course and to register for the live event, and we will see you in Salt Lake City, Utah. So what you have to do right now is go to incomemachine.com, and this will get you the 3-day course coming up to get your whole funnel and system in place, and you'll get a free ticket to Product University, and you can fly in or don't, but either way, you can then build on the websites that you already have. So click the pay button right now and send $197, and you'll be able to log into the site within the next few minutes. So we're closing down this webinar in about 30 seconds. Let's make it 60 seconds to be nice, but we're about to close down this call, so make sure you have this open. Don't just write it down, don't just bookmark it, but open up your browser just like I just did and type in, whoops, we want 50 seconds. Type in incomemachine.com, and I look forward to seeing you in the members area, on the live call, and in person. I mean, if you want to shake my hand in Salt Lake City, then let's freaking do it. If you want to fist bump in Salt Lake City, if you want to hug in Salt Lake City, let's do it, as my reward to you for setting up your very own income machine, your blog, traffic, sales letter, opt-in page sequence, all that good stuff. So incomemachine.com, incomemachine.com, incomemachine.com. I'll even type it in the chat box so you can all find it, and I will see you on the inside. There's nothing else left to do. Let's not make it complicated. Let's make it simple. Let's get some stuff online, and then you can build and improve on what you already have. That's making money, and you can just go ahead and make more money and rinse and repeat the process. So incomemachine.com, go there right now. My name is Robert Plank. I look forward to seeing you inside the members area of incomemachine.com, and thank you.